So I totally agree with you. I do believe that there was a knowing and or I could say knowing or potential too. And so
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to TCS Everyday Psychics. I'm Trevor, and with me today is Karissa. We are here to talk
hello.
about the Titanic,
Yes. Yes, indeed.
specifically a couple conspiracy theories surrounding the Titanic, things that allegedly did or did not happen, or things that we were not told about with the Titanic. Um, we figured this could be a fun little series that we could start doing, not just on the Titanic, but on other conspiracies that we could talk about every other week or something. And we do love conspiracies, but we just want a little quick disclaimer. We know that and recognize that conspiracies are not always founded in fact and not always logical. So we just want to sit here and we don't want to spread any misinformation or give people the wrong ideas. Um, with that being said, as you watch any of our conspiracy theories, just take the information with a grain of salt. Don't read into it too much. We're just talking. We're just two friends talking.
Yes. Exactly. This is for our entertainment purposes.
Absolutely. And it's just fun to talk about. So
Yes.
let's just get into it.
Yes. Please do.
Now, we are going to read, it's an article from history.com by Becky Little. It was published August 18th, I believe, in November 28th, 2018. So it's a little bit older, but it touches on a few conspiracies, things that may or may not have happened, and we figured it'd be fun to talk about. So let's get into it.
All right.
Okay. So one of the first things that they talk about in this article is that J.P. Morgan planned the disaster to kill his rivals. So J.P. Morgan is from one of the major starters
Chase
of
Bank.
of
Yeah.
J.P. Morgan banking. And he started that way back when, don't know when.
We weren't here. we
Yeah,
weren't
no,
we weren't
we were
around.
not here.
Yeah.
But according to the theory, millionaire banker J.P. Morgan planned the Titanic disaster to kill off rival millionaires Jacob Astor and Isidor Straus and Benjamin Guggenheim, who all perished aboard. The theory hinges on the fact that Morgan had originally planned to sail on the Titanic but changed his mind shortly before it took off. Yet it doesn't offer any explanation for how he caused the ship to hit an iceberg and kill over 1,500 people, let alone the three men he supposedly intended to die. So,
Yeah.
so far, what are we thinking? What are we getting here?
I'm interested to hear what you think first and foremost.
Oh
Maybe we
God,
get
the
in.
pressure's on.
Yes, that's right. I wish I had music.
Now, immediately, like my logical brain says, how exactly do you go about planting an iceberg in the
Mhm.
ocean to sink a ship? So naturally, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really buy it. However,
Mhm.
I do feel that there was some sort of knowing that I don't think they knew that the iceberg was gonna happen, specifically the iceberg, but I do think that they knew that something was gonna happen, something major on the ship, like something was gonna take it out. They just didn't know what.
Mhm.
I really get like it was kind of up in the air as to how they were going to orchestrate something, not necessarily JP Morgan killing his rivals, but um before the ship even set sail, I do believe that it was planned. Like the downing of the ship, they knew it was going to happen.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
honestly, it feels like that they just kind of got lucky with the iceberg thing. Um,
Right.
it was like it was like they stumbled upon the perfect cover story. Like it was a natural accident. Like, oh, an iceberg just was there,
Hmm.
and then it sunk it. So
Yeah. Yep. So I totally agree with you. I do believe that there was a knowing and or I could say knowing or a potential too. And so intent was for it to go down in such a manner that it did. Um, it could be that, or it could be that the intention was for there to be a loss of some sort, some type of monetary loss. Um, Maybe not necessarily the perishing of all those people. And I do think that that was an intentional thing. But I'm with you as far as there's no way he could have just, let me pay this guy and we're gonna, make sure you go into that glacier over there. No, I don't think that that happened in that way. But I do believe that um, there was some issues with the ship and it was known about and uh, careless to fix it. And, you know,
yeah,
again, not thinking that all those people were going to go, but oh well,
exactly. Yeah, it was very much in. Well, that sucks. I guess.
yeah.
Really, what I get
Hmm.
to is when you were talking is like insurance fraud, like something with it wasn't a monetary loss, but a gain. Like people saw
Hmm.
it as more of a potential to gain something.
Hmm.
And really what I get with that is like a little bit of um people that were on the boat had wills and things like that, things
Hmm.
that they had um willed to their whoever it is, their sons, daughters, children, people,
Hmm.
whoever they willed their belongings to.
Yeah.
um they kind of wanted them to kind of perish so that
Hmm.
other people could benefit from the loss of life.
Yeah.
It's
Yes. Yeah.
it's like when the FBI and like the police didn't really know how to manage or how to handle evidence for when they were doing investigations. This kind of
Hmm.
feels like that, but with the mechanical workings of the ship. Like I don't I think they knew enough to build a ship, but I don't think they knew enough for this magnitude to
Yeah.
build a safely running ship and a
Hmm.
ship that really was capable of being out at sea for that long, for as long as they had it there
Yeah.
for.
Yes. I totally agree. Do we know if it was quickly built? Like, I remember watching the movie way back in the day, of course. I was a little girl. Um, but I can't say that I've followed and, have, just read every article out there to know so much about the Titanic. But I'm just curious, was it in comparison to how um, other ships may have been back then? I'm just curious if it was quickly built, like too quick. Nowadays, if they build a building too quick, then there's a possibility of
Uh-huh.
walls collapsing, ceiling collapsing, things like that.
So it looks like so I've got two different things. I've got one thing that says it took about the RMS Titanic took about 26 months to build, starting in 1909 at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Ireland, and completed in 1912. Okay, so yeah, this and then I also have something else that says it took 3 years. Okay, so yeah, that's right. So yeah,
Okay.
3 years to build this ginormous ship.
That average.
Hmm.
I will say that while you're looking that up, I do get a sense of, well, we do know that people, of course, it was drinking aboard. I'm going to assume, right? If not,
Oh
I do
yes.
get a sense of that happening. and possibly playing into that also being an issue in some manner.
And yeah, just a lack of like carelessness, responsibility
Hmm.
here is
Yeah,
huge. Like
yeah.
even just the way that the Titanic sunk, like, and that iceberg was ginormous from what we know. So
Hmm.
it's like you're telling me that no one saw that coming ahead of time? No one?
Oh, man, I don't know about you, but I am not a fan of the ocean is beautiful. It really is. However, I might be by myself with this way of thinking, but I just feel like um, us humans are supposed to be on land.
And I agree
I
with
am
you. The
terrified.
ocean is scary. I am not.
Yeah.
I think the ocean is beautiful from land, and that's it. And
Hmm.
that's how it should
Yeah.
stay. We don't need to be
Yeah.
going down into the sea, into the ocean, like the
Hmm.
what is it, the Marianas Trench or whatever, the deepest
Oh,
trench.
yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I don't need to know what's
Yeah.
at the bottom of that. I don't care.
I've seen some of those images, and I'm one of those people who, oh God, I'm such an idiot for this, but as terrified, first off, let me just say that I don't know how to swim. I've had an accident as a kid. Okay, I won't really get into that here, but so I do actually have a fear of water. However, I do think that the water is beautiful and cleansing and healing and all of those good things. But personally, I probably will never go on a cruise. I can't see myself doing that.
Heck
Um,
no.
yeah, I know people are like, well, when you're on the ship, you don't even feel it. You're just, me. The way that my brain works, I would no, I don't think I would do well in that situation. Um, and again, I just feel like I don't know enough about cruise ships and how it works and the manner of the what just how it works in general from a worker's point of view. But I will say that as we did look into this, there is something with the bottom. Was that called the deck or something? And
Uh,
the bottom of that ship had there was some type of issue issue that wasn't what I feel like is that someone knew that there was an issue and it just wasn't fixed or resolved, and that caused more of an issue as well once they hit that glacier.
so the bottom of a ship has several parts. The keel, hull, and the bilge. And
Okay.
now, again, another disclaimer, Karissa and I know nothing about ships, so
No.
sorry if anyone does and you get frustrated listening to us. I have not a clue. I don't even know about the Titanic, really. All I know, I've seen the movie, and that's basically it. I know a big ship sank. That's all I know.
Right. Yeah.
And there were important people
Yeah.
on it.
Hmm. Yep. Same. I'm with you on that. So what we're doing is reading the energy of the Titanic.
Yes, it won't exactly be history accurate, so
Right.
forgive us there. We're just talking about it. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else that we get before we continue reading?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. To top it off, the theory claims Morgan wanted to kill them because they opposed the creation of the Federal Reserve, even though Astor and Guggenheim don't appear to have taken a position on it, and Strauss actually supported it. Alternative versions of this theory claim the Rothschild banking family or Jesuits were the one who arranged Astor, Strauss, and Guggenheim's deaths on the Titanic.
I don't feel that necessarily.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't feel like if he, let's say he did wanted them killed, I don't believe that it is for the reason of, they didn't want the major banks to be built like competitors, like because
Hmm.
banking at the end of the day, the Federal Reserve is like control for the government. It's control over its people and money and stuff. So why would they not want
Hmm.
that, especially when they're back in the day when they're trying to build it and establish it and everything. So that I don't think, in my
Hmm.
opinion,
Right. Yeah.
wouldn't track.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not getting that. I'm not
Yeah.
getting that feeling.
So the next theory is that the Titanic never sank. So this one is, and I did not read this article in advance. I clicked on it, kind of skimmed it, but this next one actually corroborates the insurance fraud thing that we were kind of picking up on. So that's fun.
Mm, okay.
Okay, so people seem to love a good insurance fraud story. So maybe it's unsurprising that this conspiracy theory is one of the Titanic's most popular. This one posits that someone switched the Titanic with another White Star Line ship, the RMS Olympic. But as Paul Burns, vice president and curator for the Titanic Museum attractions in Missouri and Tennessee, points out, it just doesn't make any sense. The theory starts with the fact that the Olympic was damaged while sailing from Southampton, England to New York in September 1911 and had to return to Harland and Wolff Shipping Yard in Belfast for repairs. The company repaired the Olympic and it sailed to New York and back. It returned to Belfast for more repairs in March 1912, a few weeks before the Titanic set sail.
Okay. Well, I got a clear no. This was in fact the Titanic. Was not disguised as the
That,
Titanic, but really a different ship in my.
yeah, again, that would be really hard to pull off. Just
Mhm.
logistically, not even like, I mean, we're reading the energy too, but logistically, that would, I don't even know how you would go about switching a one ginormous ship for another ginormous ship
Right.
and how you
Right.
do
Right.
that
Yeah.
without someone noticing.
That would take many people involved, of course.
Yeah, many people, and we know people don't like to keep their mouths shut. So
Hmm.
someone would have known about that. There would have been
Yeah.
some.
I think all these years later,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely not switched. That was the Titanic that went down.
most definitely. Yep. Yep. I'd have to say so. What else you got?
And then the rest of that little piece is the conspiracy theory claims that some person or people found the Olympic too severely damaged to be profitable. So at some point they switched it with the Titanic to purposely ditch the repair to purposely ditch the damaged ship, reap the insurance money, and it seems kill a bunch of people in the process. Um yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
No.
that's a no. This
I
next
know
one
we just
is
probably you were like, yeah, no, yeah, no. That's
I
a
had to
no.
like definitive no.
Yep, correct. I totally agree.
Now this one seems interesting. This is up our alley. So a mummy's curse doomed the Titanic.
Oh, okay. Let's hear about it.
One of the passengers who went down with the Titanic was William Stead, a British editor who subscribed to early 20th century spiritualism and had spent the past several years claiming a cursed mummy was causing mysterious destruction and disaster in London. As with other myths about Egyptian curses and Native American burial grounds, this myth played off as colonialists' anxiety about the people whose land they had plundered. On board the Titanic, Stead happily repeated his tale of the mummy's curse to other passengers after the ship sank. A survivor recounted Stead's story to the New York World, and the media picked it up. The next month, the Washington Post ran the headline, Ghost of the Titanic, Vengeance of Hoodoo Mummy Followed Man Who Wrote Its History. Now, I don't know
Yeah.
this one either. This just seems like a spooky tale that they kind of just went with, and it was a fun little,
Hmm.
not fun, it's not fun, but like a little
Yeah.
story
Well,
that they published, and
yeah.
they were kind of, like,
Yes.
haha,
Yeah.
isn't this
I
so
do.
silly?
Yeah. I agree. I know that there is a belief out there that it's like a mummy's curse. If people get too close to it, to a sarcophagus and open it, or just meddle or mess with them,
Yeah.
that it does curse those people and possibly even others. Um, so that may be what they were going with. Um, However, in this instance, I don't feel that from this energy.
Yeah, I don't either. It just seems So what I really get is for at the time it was just a way for them to make sense or try to make sense of what happened. Like, we
Hmm.
humans love to try to search for logical explanations, even though that is not a
Yeah.
logical one at all. But it was their effort of grasping at straws sort of thing to
Yeah.
try to figure out what really happened and when it was such a mysterious and
Hmm.
strange occurrence that happened.
Yep. I will say what I do feel is that the people um, of Titanic or that were on Titanic may have had some lower vibrational energy themselves, but it was not that of a cursed mummy. I would say that might just be a tale in this situation.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay, so wait, do you think like maybe they were doing some sort of witchcraft or something, some sort of dark stuff?
I so if you want to get into Illuminati, like, are we feeling Illuminati vibes over here?
Why not?
I
We're talking
Yeah,
conspiracies. Let's do
yeah.
it.
So I do feel like uh, people in higher powers do have a brotherhood of some sort. I haven't ever really looked into what entails. I'm not sure if I would even be able to. But I will say that it is quite possible. Would not be I would not be shocked if some of that did happen. Um, and as far as Illuminati goes, or Masons and all that, it's so secretive. None of us really know what they're doing, and we hear so many stories of it being, worshiping the devil, or witchery, or and none of that at all. Just truly a brotherhood. So um, as I try to lean into that, I can't really. I'm not picking up on anything. Um, but what I can pick up on is a lower vibration energy coming from some of those individuals that are in higher power. Higher power. Um, and I don't want to talk about any family lineage or anything like that, because never know.
Right.
I mean, there's obviously people still alive that are kin to these people, but
Yep.
um, we all have passed, and that would include our families, and our families may have had different belief systems um, during their times of living compared to what we have today, and that's just how it is. So um, I will say that. I will say that if you can kind of catch my drift.
Oh yeah, we're picking up what you're putting down.
Good.
And
What do you get in?
so oh, so those lower vibrational beings, I think, or those lower vibrational people that were on the ship helped to make this tragedy come to fruition in some sort of sense. Not to say that they manifested an iceberg to pop up in the middle of the ocean. That would just be absurd.
Hmm.
But
Right.
I think, I believe that it was very much a like culmination of many different things that had to happen in order for this to really go down or be pulled off.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. And just like the carelessness piece of it that happened before the ship even took off, right? So if we want to go back to what I felt as far as something being wrong with the ship itself, and um, some or one knew that something was mechanically wrong with the ship, um, that right there is more of a low word vibrational type of energy to not want to, you know,
To conceal the truth,
get.
to
Yeah.
or not maybe
Yeah.
not conceal it, but not talk about it.
Hmm. Yeah, because if we want to talk about some of the Boeing stuff, I mean, that's concealed. And in my opinion, because I haven't looked into that energetically yet, but in my opinion, when I did hear about some of the Boeing planes and um, how people were just dying whenever they would speak of what they knew, the people that worked for that company.
Hmm.
Um,
We might have to do that for a different video.
right,
Let me
yeah.
write
But
that
like
down.
I'm getting the same type of feeling there. Like, something's wrong and you're just going to dismiss it. And it's all about the money. It's all about making the
Yeah,
money.
always. It's always about the money, unfortunately.
Yeah, yep, got that right.
Okay. And we are not reading like the whole of each of these like little snippets of this article. We're just kind of going through it. If you want to read it, we'll link it in the description so
Yeah,
you can kind of read along with us a little bit.
good
Okay.
idea.
So the ship's number read "No Pope" backwards. Okay, this is kind of seems odd.
Okay. No
Um,
Pope, like Pope. Is that what you said?
yeah, no Pope.
Okay.
So one myth posits that Catholic employees of Harland and Wolff, the Belfast company that built the Titanic, were distressed that the ship's number 390904 seemed to say no Pope when viewed in a mirror. Was this a sign of bad luck that foretold the ship's doom? Uh, and then next it says nope, period. The late Titanic historian Walter Lord wrote that he received letters from people in Ireland relaying this no pope story beginning in the mid 1950s. Yeah, as Burns pointed out in his 1986 book, The Night Lives On, there was no such number attached to the Titanic. The whole number painted on the ship was 401, the same as its yard number at Harland and Wolff, and its Board of Trade number was 131428. Yet, even if one of its numbers had read no Pope, there weren't any Catholic workers at Harlan and Wolff for it to upset. Okay, yeah, that one automatically, that kind of seems like that's a bit of BS.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I I got nothing with that at all.
But yeah, I
So
could,
it's
like,
just
the mummies thing, I can understand where they were trying to, like, come up with some sort of supernatural, unexplained answer, like, oh, it was a mummy
yeah,
that was the ship. That one, that's got nothing at all.
yeah,
Like, I can
that
understand the mummy, that I can't understand. That just seems like a reach.
yeah, that was pulled out of left field for sure. So
Yeah.
I think that's the same. Yeah,
Okay, well, that was easy.
for sure.
We need one of those buttons. That was easy.
Ooh, yeah. Amazon, I'm sure.
I used to have one, but it crapped the bed.
Oh man,
It
dang
started
it.
sounding a little I'm not gonna say demonic, but it sounded a little distorted, I'll say that.
Yeah, sounded it got a bit uncomfortable. Like, you know what? We're just gonna thank you.
It
You've
sounded
done
like
what you've done.
yeah, thank you for your service. It sounded like it had
Hmm.
been submerged in water, a lot like the Titanic, and it just didn't
Ooh,
come
yeah.
back. That's
I
not a funny
totally
joke. I probably shouldn't have said that.
shoot. Dang it. Yeah. Okay.
No
He didn't mean it in that
disrespect.
way.
No
Right.
disrespect to the lives lost, I promise.
But to be fair, I know what you're talking about because even like with my son's toys, after the battery starts to, it's about to die. So it does sound a little bit, yeah, not demonic, but underwater, eh, spooky sounding. I don't
It's
know.
just yeah, it's just odd, creepy.
Quite uncomfortable, you know.
Okay, the next one and the last one. Jack Dawson is Jay Gatsby. So this one is a fan theory, but I figured this one would be fun to just read.
Okay.
So there's a theory on the internet that Leonardo DiCaprio's character in the Titanic and his character in The Great Gatsby are the same person. The movie is obviously an alternative timeline where he survived the sinking of the ship and went on to build a life for himself in America in an attempt to reunite with Rose. Yeah, that one is, I mean, yeah, fan made, so obviously that's not true, but it's just funny
Right.
to think that, if he had survived, he would go on to be like some sort of
Right.
rich, Gatsby type person. It just, you would have some
Yeah.
trauma if you survived that. You would have some trauma. I don't think
Yeah.
he'd be quite capable of going on to live not to say that you can't live a successful life and deal with trauma, but
Hmm.
I don't think it would have happened.
That was quite, and you got to think for Titanic still to be a huge thing in 2024 to the point where people go all the way down in submarines or to, you know,
Or
go
attempt.
visit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um, I'm pretty sure that when it did sink that year, it was always popular and something that people flocked to just out of curiosity, the mystery, the grieving, all of those things. So, all that just to say that just a fan, just a fan article, of course.
Yeah,
I
but
think it
it's
would have been
funny.
well known if that was the case.
Oh, absolutely. He would have been like,
Hmm.
talked about,
That
written about.
that probably would have made him famous and popular. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. He would have been just fine.
Exactly. So
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
that is about it for that.
that's interesting.
Those are some fun
Yeah.
little snippets of potential alleged conspiracies.
Yes. Yes, for sure. It is quite interesting. And I mean that the movie, I'm not sure how much, you know, reality is based on the movie, or real events, but um, well, it's any
I don't know.
some.
I'd have
Okay.
to look
But
into that. I
yeah,
assume probably not much, but
yeah. Well, just because it's a love story.
uh-huh.
I don't know. I don't know. But it is quite interesting and it's fascinating. It's a part of history, and um, I can see why people are entertained by learning more and wanting to probably see the ship itself at the bottom of the ocean. However, what do we feel about any of the energy that might be, or if there's any energy, residual energy attached to that area, or
Okay. So, I the reason why people are so drawn to it is I believe I wouldn't call it a portal, but I would call it like a beacon of some sort, an energetic beacon that just because of the tragedy and the residual energy that was created with the whole event,
Mhm.
which is what really pulls people to it to really try to like figure out what happened. And
Yeah.
it's like that saying curiosity killed the cat. It's like
Hmm.
I think it's better off just being left alone. But it's
Hmm.
also people's like you just can't believe that something like that happened. Like you
Yeah.
have to see it for yourself. Like I like
Hmm.
it's such a crazy thing that happened, tragedy that happened.
Yeah.
And like it's hard to visualize that even in our human brains because especially if you're someone like we don't I feel like we don't often see in our own personal lives tragedies on that sort of scale happen.
Hmm.
Like they do happen, but it's just hard to picture it.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Do we think that there's any? This might be on people's minds. Um, do we think that there's any type of ghost activity, or just residual energy still attached to the ship or that specific area? Because people might put a correlation between um, the the tragedy that happened, what was that, last year when the people went down, and
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
you know and I think I may have read stories around that time frame where people were, oh, it's cursed, and you know all those type of things. And again, I've never energetically looked into any of that, but what are your thoughts on that? What's spirit telling you?
There's not any Earthies down there. Anybody that died on that ship are moved on now.
Hmm.
Like it's been enough time, but I do think that the if you were to go down there and explore it, the residual energy is heavy, and I that would cause some sort of paranormal phenomena to occur. Like I imagine if you were in there and you were like diving around and trying to
Hmm.
go through the ship, you would go a little bit mad. Like you would get like turned around, you wouldn't know which way to go. It would be like a maze as soon as you get in there. But it would
Hmm.
be
Like
like
a
one of those,
fun house effect.
yeah, exactly. It would be one of those slow burn type of things. Like it pulls you in, pulls you in, pulls you in, and then all of a sudden you can't leave.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't believe there are any earthies. I think it would be all residual energy. Because you got to think uh, when there are traumatic events that have taken place. Let's use 9/11 for example. If you go to that location, there's a good chance that the the residual energy is probably just so strong and so felt, and it will move people to many different um, feelings.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And you, I
yeah,
mean, you
for
couldn't
sure.
not feel something from that. It's just so intense.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
it's the knowing, it's the mystery, it's the uh, people, putting themselves in those people's shoes. So it's our own energy and our feelings of people that visit that site on top of the event that happened. The tragedy that happened back then. It's probably so huge, and um, I would assume that it's the same, on that ship, just with the energy. And I don't, I mean, do we know if the water would like wash any of that away? You know, I'd feel like it would
um,
still possibly be there.
it's funny you bring that up because for some reason I keep seeing there's this weird dome or like encasing over the whole ship,
Hmm.
and I don't know if that's to keep the energy of the tragedy in like contained in that area,
Hmm.
or like to prevent it from seeping into the ocean, infecting the water or something, or
Hmm.
what that is. I don't know. It's really weird.
Interesting. Hmm.
We would have to look into that a little bit more. Maybe we
Yeah.
could do that in a part two or something if people want to see that,
Hmm.
but I don't know. I see that very clearly, but it's not like a dome you can see through. It's dark. Like
Hmm.
it's completely black.
Yeah. I can totally feel what you're explaining, actually.
And is there like a straw at the top of it type of thing?
So how I see it, I actually I see the dome, but I see like bolts near the top, like four bolts. And what it kind of feels like is holding the energy. But I don't know what the reason for that would be.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's really weird. I don't know if that's like the earth spirits or like the water spirits trying to contain it
Hmm.
to keep it from spilling
Right.
into the ocean or something. I don't know.
Hmm. Well, as we know, a lot of times, Earth is, she's her own amazing thing, self-healing in many cases, unless,
Yeah.
there are spots, of course, all over that, needs help. I would assume that the ocean is the same. Um, hmm, that's interesting. Wow.
Oh, okay. You know what I get from that? It's like yes, because it's the Earth's defense mechanism for keeping the rest of itself. Um safe. Like when your body, when you get an infection or something,
Hmm.
like you have natural defense mechanisms that try to get rid of that.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
that's the same thing that's happening here.
Oh yeah, that totally resonates for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, that popped in
that's
pretty
awesome.
clearly. I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah. Good job for picking up on that. That's yeah, for sure. That's totally what I get. Hmm, interesting. That's something to explore.
yeah. I wonder what if we have any sort of authority, because it is the ocean. Like, does anybody
Hmm.
technically own the ocean?
Right, right. Um,
But this was probably a job for more than two of us if we were to
oh,
do some sort of a clearing.
yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, that is an interesting question. Well, hmm. Note to Marilyn and Pam.
Yeah, we might have to get them on a video and see if we can do anything
Yeah.
about that for the Earth's sake at least.
Hmm. Or
Okay.
if it's already been resolved, like that is the
Yeah, that
like
is
it's
the resolution. That's
self
what.
healing. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
already done. Because that's what I'm kind of picking up on is that I just keep hearing self healing, self healing.
yeah. It's already like the Earth's got it covered. It's
Hmm.
and big tragedies like that take time to heal, especially with the Earth. The Earth is so big and powerful, but it's still something like that takes some time.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and all of the uh, entities of the earth, of the oceans, all of that, they all have their own specific jobs as well.
All right, cool. That was fun to look into.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Do we
Hopefully, you
have
guys, huh?
anything else that we want to add before we close out this video?
Um, no, I'm not getting anything else
I'm not either.
myself. Okay.
Okay, great. Well, if people want to see more conspiracy theory talk like this, let us know in the comments. Put down some conspiracy theories that you might want to see us talk about. We will be avoiding any conspiracies that are harmful or just in general spread hate and things like that. We will not be talking about those, just to put that out
Hmm.
there.
Or
Um,
things that are just too sensitive in nature.
yeah. Thank you everyone so much for watching. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karissa, for filming this with me.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. That was fun.
It was fun. We can't wait to do some more in the future. Um,
Yes.
and as per usual, if you have any sort of paranormal activity in your space, in your house, reach out to us at tcseverydaypsychics.com. We've got some great services on there as well.
Mhm.
Clearings are free, so we do not require compensation for clearings, but we always appreciate any sort of donations that people want to give. That is also linked on the TCS website. So, thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you next week. All right,
Great.
bye.